This is the W train, or as I like to call it, the Dubs. Think of the W as the N's chubby little brother that likes to eat Lay's chips with a propeller hat on. Now the Dub starts off in Astoria Ditmars with the most electrifying train in all of New York City Transit, the N train. It brings this fat ass down the line to Queensboro Plaza, meeting up with the 7. After that, W goes down to 60th Tube with the N, meeting up with the R, just getting into the tunnel. The 3 of them fly over to Manhattan. Once they get to 57th Street, 7th Avenue, where all 3 of them go onto the local track, they meet up with the Q on the express track. Moving down the line, we get to Times Square, where the N decides to say fuck you losers and switches over to the express track, and the W and R stay on the local track, running local down Broadway to Canal Street. Once there, the N and the Q split from the R and the W, and the 2 locals head towards Lower Manhattan to Whitehall Street, which is the W's last stop, while the R continues on to Brooklyn. There are some W's that head to and from 86th Street on Sea Beach, just to go to Coney Island Yard, which is where the W is based out of. That usually happens with the first few trains coming in the morning, and the last few trains going back out at night. Come to think of it, everyone's pressing for the W to go to Brooklyn in the first place. You ass cheeks. You mean to tell me that you're gonna have the W go on the R's ass the whole time from Queens into Manhattan into Brooklyn? Heh, no. Send a J or the Z to 9th Avenue. Mainly the Z because that train is barely out and it's a skip stop train anyway, but that's a video for another time. The equipment that the W uses is R68s, 68As, and R160s that it shares with the N. History trip. From 1986 to 1988, the Yellow B was around when we had that whole Manhattan bridge closure dilemma, running from Astoria to Coney Island via West End. On July 22, 2001, the Yellow B died and the Dubs was born. Around 9/11, the W was running to Astoria from Coney Island via West End. At night, it ran in 2 sections, from Astoria to 34th Street, and from 36th Street in Brooklyn to Coney Island. Shit went back to normal on October 28, 2001. This was at the time when Coney Island itself was getting remade from the old green-looking station that I remember to the brand new blue look with the bricks. The W at the time was the only one running to Coney Island, while everything else was out due to construction. The N itself had no choice but to retire out because of 9/11, and Coney Island was being redone, so the Dubs came through and helped out its big brother. This all started on September 8, 2002. On February 22, 2004, the Manhattan Bridge was good and Coney Island was all fixed up. The W had returned to what it's doing as of now, and all the trains came back to Coney Island. The first to come back was the D, the second to come back was the F, the third was the Q, and the N was last. The W was running weekdays only from 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. on some R&M type of shit. After the W left West End, the D replaced it over there. On July 27, 2008, the W was extended to run until 11 p.m. due to ridership growing in the system. On Friday, June 25, 2010, thanks to the famous budget cuts, the Dubs died. On November 7, 2016, the Q was switched from Astoria to 96th Street, Manhattan, and the W replaced the Q in Astoria. At the end of the day, just think of the W as the local end, but only to Whitehall Street. Now the W as far as timing goes, I think the W is consistent, even though it's not a long route, but it's really good. The sucky part is that it almost has the same traits as the 5 due to it being taken out of service so easily. And as far as the equipment on the W, the R68s and 68As look cool on the W. The R160, The only problem we have with the R68s being on the W is that whole Ditmars Dub situation, or DDS if you will. This is the problem for the crews in Astoria when 2 R68Ws show up and they need an N to pull out. What happens is they all have to change the roll signs from W to N. And of course, you know the crews hate switching roll signs on a train. That's a dub. The problem that causes this is the 34th Street Tower. That's a dub. Because apparently they don't know how to keep sending N's before W's or W's before N's. You know, like in a pattern.
That's a dub.
But see, I come up with a solution. Keep all the old shit on the N and have the W be mostly tech. The N goes to Coney Island anyway, so screw it. Just think about it. I'm not trying to lose good equipment on the N. Variety is in the N's DNA. I mean, it is the same for the W, I'm not gonna lie. Back then, the defining trains for the W was the R40 slants. And you had times where the R40 mods and R42s was on a W as well. Hell, I skipped school for an R32W, which I never told my mom about, but after this video, she knows. The music for the W is Jet Jet Rocket from Sonic Rush. And for the R160W, you got the Blaze version of Jet Jet Rocket. And now for the people.
The W train. It's one short and consistent, just the way it needs to be. After all, when they cut it back in 2010, which was a big mistake. Bro is a mess, but now, Bro seems to be functioning better with the W being around. It's one great one.
Okay, so the W, it's like a shorter N train, nothing really too special. Honestly, prefer the R. This is just all my opinion. I'm not really stating too much facts. I just want to say something. The W's alright. It's an okay line. It's there when you need it most of the time. You can help out the R, the N, the Q. It's good. It's okay.
Alright, the W train. It runs between Ditmars to Whitehall, and let's face it, it is a shorter version of the N. And the single load off of the R if the R train isn't being long, or being slow, or being an asshole. That's my opinion. Let's say this. But I will say it does come a lot. It does come quicker, and at times it does come a little bit quicker than the end at times. But anyways, that's my opinion. Thank you, and good night.
W. This is Michael in the back. You know her. The W train. Honestly, my favorite train on Broadway, aside from the end. This ain't your favorite. It goes from Astoria all the way down to Whitehall. Uses R160s, Surprise, and 68s. No service on weekends, I believe, and pretty good, pretty good. I'm kind of new to this. I don't really know what to say. I'm kind of nervous, so I give it a 10 out of 10. And yeah, that's really it.
Good morning. We are, don't laugh. So we're reviewing the W. Is that right, brother?
Yes, dear.
Oh Lord, the line has been resurrected. Let us pray, darlings. Very good. Don't laugh. But yes, we were talking about the W. The line has been resurrected, and I must say, welcome back, old friend. It's very good to see it again. But you know, I got some interesting facts to talk about the W. Therefore, being the W has always been great with Smeeds. Am I right or wrong, brother?
Yes, you are. Sure enough are.
Ain't it amazing? But no, all jokes aside, truthfully, I'm actually really happy the W is back though. Like, Broadway really needed it back. And also, if you think about it, this has just been like a 6-year-long GO that just suspended the W. And it's just great to see this line back up and running again. It runs the same path, Astoria to Whitehall, Bay Parkway, same old shit. But just seeing a 68A on the W, just seeing that bright yellow bullet running down Broadway and seeing it in Astoria, oh my God, that is like the most awesome thing to see in the world. Especially if it's a diamond one. Like, oh my God, that just looks so official.
Hell yeah.
Oh yes. Like truly, like the W is the savior of Broadway. It sucks when you're behind an R from Lexington to Whitehall and the other way around. It just makes the trip less enjoyable, and then it's worse if it ends in front of you. But other than that, you know, I feel like the W is like one of those lines on Broadway that you're guaranteed to get a SME. You're guaranteed to get a 68 or a 68A. There's never a day where it was just 100% 160s. There was, I don't think there was ever a day, was there?
Nah.
It wasn't. But truthfully, I like the W. Like, it comes in clutch. The times the R go down, the W gotta come in, and the N go down, the W gotta come in.
It sure has in the past.
And it's still doing it now.
Yep.
You remember what happened the first day it ran?
Yeah.
Despite it wasn't trying to help, it got given the wrong lineup.
Yeah.
But it still helped.
Yep.
But I will say the W is a very helpful line. It truly is. And that's the line I can truly depend on if I'm coming from Lower Manhattan, because a lot of people are still like, what is this train? And the train be empty, and I'm like, free seat, works for me.
Right.
And it's quick and easy, and it's painless.
Yeah.
Truly painless. But truthfully, as it's been here for about over a year now, still got some work to do. I will say that, but all in all, I give the W a 9 out of 10. I truly do, because to me that line is just so, it's great, it's wonderful, and it's worth the 9. So with that said, this is Alex of the Super Server Brothers telling you, stand clear and good night.
Now I gotta say, think of the W like Percy from Thomas. As far as this review is concerned, you guys have been constantly pestering us to make the W review happen, and you guys deserve this one for waiting for a long time. The W itself gets an 8 out of 10. The W is responsible for a lot of cool things happening. The fact that it was the only train running to Coney Island, and the fact that it helped while the N retired in 2001 is pretty damn awesome. Hell, the R109s technically did run trips on the W before. So with that said, this is Knuckles of the Super Subway Brothers telling you to stand clear of the closing doors.